Hello, I'm Crystal, and thank you so much for joining me on the Warrenist Live, where we celebrate the art, culture, lifestyle, and people of Warren County, North Carolina, and beyond. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. And before you go, be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We're on practically just about every platform. Um, and today, making her third appearance on the show is Korita Steverson. She's the owner of the highly anticipated grocery store Mag's Marketplace that's coming to Warrenton, North Carolina. And today she's giving us some updates. You've had questions. I've heard the questions. I know she has heard the questions. So hopefully we'll have a lot of those questions answered today. So welcome back, Karita. How are you?
We're good. Thank you so much for having us and kind of giving us the opportunity to just handle some things head on, and give people the opportunity to ask any questions that they might have outstanding.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess the first question that everybody wants to know is, when is the store going to open?
Soon. The answer is soon.
Right.
We've had to adjust our projected time frame, and so we're targeting a fall open. There have been some issues that I'm sure lots of small businesses and other entrepreneurs in the community have been affected with like financing, COVID, supply line, logistics. And now we're hitting inflation. So we are going to do our best to get it open as soon as possible.
Right. So, and you definitely just listed several of the reasons why. Um, are you receiving any type of assistance or any help, like on a town level or a county level or on a state level?
So we're working with several governmental agencies to help us secure funding, to support the project. But at this point, we haven't been able to secure any from the state or county and city groups. So it's just important for us to, include in our discussion that governmental agencies are focused on supporting the needs and wishes of many different groups. And as you guys watch the news, those things can change very rapidly. The cat apparently is coming to say hi. So,
Okay.
oftentimes their focus is on whatever that immediate issue is, and they need to be able to pivot and make sure those things are taken care of. Food insecurity in our community is a great talking point, but there really are not that many agencies or programs that are really focused on correcting and resolving this problem. So we're going to continue to look for support and opportunities from public and private organizations because we're going to get this done.
Right. Absolutely. Like, okay, as a citizen, someone who votes, someone who lives here, is there something that an ordinary citizen can do to
Ordinary.
assist with your project, right?
I was going to
Well,
say, the Warrenist calling herself ordinary, I think.
very much so.
Yeah, the Warrenist calling herself ordinary. Really, we just are going to appreciate your support. The things that we might have or you see going on in the parking lot. If you guys can show up and show out for those kinds of things. If you are interested in donating, because we do have a 501c3 component to this project to help with other things in the community and making sure when we can procure local foods that we're getting them out to those who need them. And then just have faith. We promise that it's an important project to us, and we're going to do our best to get it accomplished as quickly as we can, because it really is important to us individually, because everybody that's on this team lives in the local community. So we feel the struggle of having to drive elsewhere. I actually have a Walmart grocery pickup pending right now. So we feel it just as deeply as you guys do. And so we look forward to being able to deliver on something that you're excited about.
Okay, because I definitely understand, and I'm sure other people understand as well in the community. This is a huge project. This isn't like, oh, buy the building today, open it tomorrow. As great as that would be, as phenomenal as that would be, right? Yeah. So, if we could talk a little bit about the store itself, actually, in case you didn't see the previous shows where Miss Stevenson was on. Can you tell us a little bit more about Mag's Marketplace?
Sure. So Mag's Marketplace is going in the former Just Save, former Lowe's, former Food Lion complex, which will now be, yes, yeah, it's been a few things, but it will be the Warren Town Center. So there's a lot of development actually in the works in that small area. And what we're focused on is one, bringing a grocery store back to the location, but it won't be the same size grocer. So we'll be bringing it down to closer to 15 to 17,000 square feet. But that way,
Mhm.
it'll enable us to bring some of the other things the community's missing to the same space and keep them centrally located. So there will be at least one full service restaurant in there. We're looking at a food stall. We are trying desperately to procure a baker. Um,
Mhm.
a fish market will be going in there, as well as a butcher, and then some space for some offices. So there's definitely a lot more than just a grocery, but the grocery and food products are our first focus.
Okay, so absolutely. So will you be breaking this project up maybe into like phases?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. With the way
mhm.
things have been going, we're going to go probably a phase one, phase two, phase three situation.
Okay.
Phase one, though, will be the grocery, full service restaurant, and then food stalls will be kind of first
Mhm.
up because we know that those are really immediate needs for this community. And we'll be able to kind of blend, having more fish offerings or more fresh meat offerings into the grocery while we're building out the other parts.
Okay. So as far as like fresh vegetables, fresh produce, people tend to well, fortunately we do have a farmers market, but it's only open for a certain amount of time. Now for those other months of the year, how does Mag's Marketplace, how would that fit in as far as providing fresh produce, providing healthier options for the
Sure.
community?
Yeah, so we're going to go about that kind of two ways. One is traditional grocery. I'm sure you guys have been into other markets and things are labeled as local if they're things that can be procured locally. We also have picked US Foods as one of our first and largest vendors because they do have the closest um, food warehousing, which allows us to pull a lot of things locally that maybe we don't physically have in like Warren County.
Mhm.
But then we are also creating and working really diligently on a CSA farm project. So that's a little different, I think, for this area. For those of you who don't know, CSA stands for Community or Supported Agriculture. And what
Mhm.
we'll be trying to do with that is team with the physical local growers in this county and around the county to have like a box that you could pick up weekly or quarterly, depending on which version of the product that you decide to do. But making it something that's available through the store allows us to make it one, easily accessible for those who are already coming to the store. We can use the delivery services that we're planning to integrate into the store to make it more accessible for a lot of people in the community. And it allows us to accept like SNAP and EBT to pay for it. So people who may have been not
Okay.
able to take care or take advantage of those discounted pricing
Mhm.
previously will be able to be included. And when you talk about it from that perspective, the big difference for our local farmers is that they will have guaranteed income. So, one of the things we've heard when we've been talking to them is we would grow more, but there's nowhere to sell it here. And so, this will give them a weekly, monthly, having a set goal that they're attaining to fill the boxes, but also an idea of what it is that they can sell. And then when we have products maybe that are going long, so, it's cucumber season and squash season for people who have those in their yards. And sometimes you plant 5 seeds and end up with 400 cucumbers. Rather than having those things go to waste in our community, we'll be able to get them into the hands of consumers and help them utilize them.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. It's all about community effort. This is definitely a community initiative. If you could, well, we talked about this being a huge project. You're sharing with us everything that's going in Mag's Marketplace. The potential bakery, fish market, the butcher, everything. Also, looking at this, like I said, it's a big project. Do you have a projected number of people that you will be hiring for this?
This is my favorite part to talk about. So you guys will hear me drone on
Great.
and on probably about other things. But I think the capacity to make a change in our local community with this through hiring and training is really something amazing to look forward to. So in phase one, we should be looking at almost 40 people being employed, which
Oh,
is significant in our tiny
right.
town. Yeah. So it gives us the ability to, have local experts doing the training, whether it's, um, the small business owners who are looking to open the restaurant, bakery, fish markets, or even just having contractors who we've been having conversations with to make sure that if they have programs that involve additional training, that we can bring local workers into the community or from the community to work on the project themselves. And we're even looking at things like working with the Dean of Culinary Arts at Vance Granville to try and make sure
Oh,
that those students who need their internship hours can get them locally. And hopefully we can retain some of that talent in our community.
oh, that would be phenomenal. And so with all of these new jobs, definitely benefits, right?
Yes, yes, there will
Okay.
be benefits and
Okay.
not just, the traditional benefits. So we're not looking at just traditional healthcare. We are trying to add some things. We hope to be partnering with King's Fitness to have like reduced rate so that they can join fitness. We've been talking about partnering with Flynn Mears yoga program so that we can do like a whole mind body thing. I
Good.
worked in retail for 22 years, so I understand that concrete is not the best thing for
Ah,
any of us. Yeah.
right, exactly.
But also looking at offering benefits where they can utilize a discount so they can purchase better foods, because how can they talk to everyone about the impacts of those things if they don't have the access that they need?
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier you talked about you have a nonprofit organization. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the nonprofit I founded with my mother. It's actually called Ingenious. Hi, Imogene Steverson, if you're watching. She is from the area. You guys who've heard me talk a little bit have probably heard about her, or if you are doing a lot agriculturally in the area, you'll see her. She's the quiet one in our family. So we are focused on the health and wellness of Warren County and the surrounding environment. And we've kind of broken that into pillars. So looking at food insecurity, housing insecurity, wealth and business management, not just saying that food is the only thing people need to have a good living experience here.
Okay. All right. So, as far as like programs from the nonprofit,
Mhm.
can you talk about a little bit more about like what exactly, or give an example of what
Yes.
you can
So
do?
for Crystal has previously taken my entrepreneurial class that was sponsored by the
Mhm.
town and county, the North Carolina Ice House program through the ELI Mindset Foundation. So we will be putting that on again through the nonprofit.
Okay.
But kicking that up a notch, one of the speakers who came last cohort was Mr. Ron Judkins, who you guys would know with Trinity Source on Main Street. And he also does credit counseling. And one of the things he'll be partnering with us to do is to be able to offer that at low or reduced rates for people in the community so that we can try and get people ready to be their better selves. So something like that we would focus on, but we also will be creating a community space in the MAGS marketplace, which we're hoping to put like a demonstration style kitchen in there so we can do conversation and education around how to cook maybe some of the things people haven't experienced, or even if they have, like a cucumber. My mom taught me that I could bake them the other day, which I'd never done before. So there,
Hmm.
see?
No, no, I've never even, no, I've never even thought about bake. Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
that was a
cool.
recipe from Julia Child, so it wasn't, a necessarily brand new thing. Um,
Uh-uh.
so trying to make things in a way that, yes, we are a community that is really good at tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, cantaloupes, finding new and innovative ways to get them into our diet so we don't, skip over the benefits that we've got here already.
Right. Yeah, definitely. You have like you get a box and you have all these wonderful fresh produce and vegetables and stuff, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do with it? So you're saying with your nonprofit organization, that is definitely one of the programs you'll be offering.
Yes, ma'am. We and I think you hit it on the head. I had talked to Miss Vicky with the senior center recently,
Oh, okay.
and she
Mhm.
said, last year they had some organization that had sponsored and donated a ton of avocado. And she never thought about, because it was something she was exposed to. But then when they were giving those to people, people didn't know how to utilize them in their diet. So
Oh,
trying to make sure that as we provide new and exciting things, that we make sure people get to enjoy them as much as we do.
okay, that's phenomenal because I would love to take a few classes because I never would have thought to bake a cucumber. Never.
Yeah, it didn't. I said, so it's going to taste like a hot pickle.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking cucumbers. I'm thinking you just slice them up, you put them in a salad, or you slice them up and with like vinegar and salt and pepper or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's is that two countries? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think that's too country at all. I think
No.
that's the
Okay.
way most of us, I think, who get those things fresh are used to handling them.
Right. Exactly. All right. So, well, I mean, this is exciting to hear about. We can't wait till it's open. So you're saying maybe in the fall of this year, keeping
Yep.
our fingers crossed, hopefully. And
Cross your
then,
toes too.
right. Oh, and then also too, you have quite a few different things already happening in the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know, Lawrence and Perry, they're there. What, the first Wednesday
First
of
Wednesday
every
there,
month?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, you had Sobachi there. You've had like this past weekend, tamales. You
Yeah.
did the Brunswick stew giveaway. So, are you going to continue to do that, or will you feel like it's going to be like competition with what you're trying to do with the market, or
So
what's
our
going to happen?
goal, yeah, our goal is for those things to be kind of value added services that we can work together with local entrepreneurs and never be competitive. If we can avoid it, because there are so many great things happening in the Warren County area that we would love to be able to support everyone that we can. So, yeah, you'll see some stuff continue to happen. Probably the next for the summertime, it'll be a little more um, fundraising and food. I don't know if anybody was able to get out last weekend, but we had the new Tri-County Elite Jets football team was out doing a plate fundraiser. And until, they were out there, I didn't know they were fully nonprofit, that their coach, if they need something, goes out and gets it done for them. So we're going to definitely do some work trying to support them, because they're just coming to Warren County area and they don't even charge for registration. So I think that's a
Wow.
great organization for us to be able to get behind, and we're lucky to have found them.
Right. What's the name of the organization?
That is Tri-County Elite Jets. I'm not
Okay.
sure what the actual 501c3 is labeled under, but I can
Okay.
make sure I get it to you.
Please do. Please do. Give them my contact information. I'd love to talk to them about it.
Yeah. And then
Right.
we, are really excited to continue to support like Alston Brothers with his
Mhm.
juicing project and see where he decides to go with that. Because I personally buy his juices. Everyone should.
Same.
And it's a
Yes.
great project that he's working on, because he's also trying to buy everything locally. And I know he's been buying from Soul City Farms. I know
Oh,
one Saturday he was out at Mr. Victor Hunt's farm trying to pick a different type of kale so that it would be less bitter. So we're really excited to be able to support projects like that as they get to grow.
yeah, absolutely. And also mention he's a young entrepreneur.
Very
You
young
know,
to me.
very young. But especially compared to us, he's very young.
He's very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's been a good year finding there's so many young entrepreneurs in this community, and it's been great getting to know them as they're trying to grow their projects.
right, and it's wonderful to watch it because it's like, then 5 years or 10 years from now, you can be like, I remember when, and
Mhm.
so it's beautiful to watch the whole process, their whole journey. So,
It is.
but back to Mag's Marketplace. So, if all of your dreams were fulfilled, what would Mag's Marketplace look like? If you're just standing back and looking and
Yeah.
saying, this is exactly what I wanted, what would that look like?
I would love to see a space that everyone in our community feels comfortable utilizing. So, not as much about the physical image, although our concept artist did some great work, and I look very excited to see the building transform. Um,
Mhm.
but having space where we can interact together and experience new things, I think is just will be my end all be all. I'm excited for people who look like my grandmothers who were in the community to be able to get the things they need without having to leave the community. But I'm also excited for, as people like me and you, even at some level, because you went to Raleigh and then kind of came back with work,
Yeah.
for us to get those things that we're used to having, but be able to live in this environment because it's so much nicer. Mental health wise, as well as just being able to look out and say, hey, as you see your neighbors walking down the street. So something that feels inviting to everyone is really what my goal is.
Absolutely, yeah, because yeah, I did. I moved to Raleigh for about 3.5, 4 years, and I came back, and initially I was like, oh my gosh, I got to head and get back out, But I'm glad I stayed. I'm
Yeah.
glad I stayed because it was still something. Because this is still home.
Mhm.
I was here up until I was about 20,
Right.
and I moved out, came back, and I mean, it's the possibilities that are here, the opportunities. You have to create your own opportunities. That's what I did, And I love the fact that you're bringing this wonderful project that you concocted up here to Warrenton, Warren County, and I'm sure it's gonna definitely assist with putting Warren County on the map. Because there's not too much like it that's out there
Yeah.
now. So.
And that's our hope. Our hope is that we can help with the positive momentum that Warren County has, but then help
Mhm.
us retain the historical value and significance that so many of us know and love. I mean, it's a great place. I think I don't have children, mine are four-legged, but if I did, I'd be very proud to be able to bring them here to raise them because I know that the community looks out for one another. And so I
Mhm.
hope that our project fits into that energy the way we anticipate.
Okay. All right. So, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you would like to share? Because you told us a lot today, so I greatly appreciate it.
I guess I would just say bear with us. I promise we're doing our best. In the background, it does feel like it's moving a little slowly, and so we are apologetic of that. But we are going to take that time to make sure the culture and the environment we're building inside the building match you guys' expectations for us.
Okay, that is fantastic. So, if we want any more updates about Mag's Marketplace, besides on the Warrenist, where can people look?
Yeah, so right now we're utilizing Facebook because that is a free, kind of hosting service. We do have the website domain reserved at magsmarketplace.com. So stuff will move there, but we're trying to utilize our inexpensive options and making that public while we're finding the financing for the other things.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining me again on the Warrenist Live. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have any other questions, put them in the comment section. Pretty sure Korita will come in and answer whatever other questions that you have.
Yeah, I'll do
Be
my
sure to
best.
follow us. Oh, she'll do it. Okay, I'll do too. But yeah, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're like all over the place today. Today. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys.
Bye.